Hey everyone, Chloe here, and welcome back to my channel. So, today I wanted to talk about and highlight what seems to be a very common viewpoint and a common mindset for both men and women when it comes to marriage, and that is the dismissal of marriage, right? The dismissal of the institution of marriage. This idea that men and women don't need to be married, right? The idea that men get the short end of the stick when it comes to marriage. The idea that women don't need marriage to have a baby, which is technically true. But sidebar, she will struggle as a single mother because the situation is not optimal or ideal, especially if her child is by a man who lacks means, who doesn't have any money. Now, I will start out by saying that marriage to a Dusty still makes him a Dusty, and changing your last name to a Dusty's last name still makes him a Dusty husband. And a Dusty husband is a man who cannot provide, and in many cases, will not provide for a family and a wife. And make no mistake, in a dusty marriage, you will struggle. You, as a woman, will be doing all of the heavy lifting. So it goes without saying that a dusty is a man who will never get the respect, they'll never get the admiration, they'll never get the glory that men crave. And because of that, they will never feel like kings because a man can only truly feel like a king when he provides a castle. So, marriage to a dusty, ladies, is like hustling backwards. I don't advise it. I don't advise dating down, dating beneath yourself, or dating out of desperation. It's just something that I will never encourage women to do. But in terms of hypergamy, marriage to a provider is an end goal and a great goal to have in mind because it comes with a ton of financial, economical, and emotional benefits that cannot be measured. So when you hear men and women say that marriage is just a piece of paper, or that it's a ball and chain, or that it's slavery, or that it don't stop a man from cheating, or that it's something unnecessary, and yes, it is those things to a Dusty and their counterpart, the Dust Bunny. When I hear people say that marriage is just a piece of paper, I automatically know that they don't understand the power of money, or respect, or legacy. And sidebar, later in the video, I'm going to get into the reasons why both men and women allow that phrase, that is just a piece of paper, to slip from their mouths. But first, I want to give you what you came for, and that's the benefits of marriage, especially for hypergamous women. So, marriage and marriage laws vary from state to state. I always encourage women to find out what the marriage laws are in their state. But marriage, in technical terms, is a legal binding contract that recognizes the union of a personal relationship. Marriage is a commitment to stay true to one another in sickness and in health. Now, if you're in a relationship currently, but if you aren't married but living together, it is recognized by the state as a domestic partnership. And domestic partnerships, ladies, do not come with financial benefits. Now, can two people live together and be committed in devotion, loyalty, and emotional support? Absolutely. But for women, you've got to be careful with the time that you invest in your romantic relationships. You have to know what you want because time is a commodity that no woman can get back. We as women go through different phases in our lives. And hypergamous wise, we are most valuable to men when we are young and when our fertility is at its peak. So after 35, ladies, society starts to push women on, to the fringes, right? You're no longer center stage when it comes to getting attention from men. Will you still get looks from men? Absolutely. Will you still pull men? Absolutely. But in terms of value, men will practice discernment, right? And I know that this is a tough pill to swallow, but after 35, women start to age. The pounds start to become harder to take off. You may even have a few gray hairs. And what tends to happen as you get older is that life becomes more expensive. That's right. Life costs money. Being healthy costs money. Kids cost money. And most women want to have a family, right? Most women, if they could, would stay at home with their children. They don't want to leave their children in the hands of strangers. And this is where the value of marriage to a provider comes in, because there are a lot of little nuances in being married to a provider that women don't think about until it's too late. With a husband who's a provider, you get the option to stay at home. You get the options to stay with your kids at home. You have more time to invest in your looks. You can go to the gym. You can invest in your femininity routine more because you have a man who can provide. With a dusty husband, you will be drained. You will look haggard. You will look old. You will not age well because doing it all is taxing and it's damaging. But with a provider, you get life insurance, you get quality health care, you get your spouse's pension, you get social security benefits. Your children are more secure in terms of going to decent schools uh, and living in safe neighborhoods. Now, God forbid, if something happens to your partner, you can make medical decisions before his mama can, right? You can make burial and funeral arrangements. And if your loved one passes, if he's a provider, you can get his remaining assets. Just look at the Nipsey Hussle situation. Lauren London was never married to Nipsey. I know people don't like to talk about it or bring it up, uh, but she gets none of those benefits, and they have a child together. And I know people will say, well, Lauren has her own money. She didn't need Nipsey's money. But honestly, ladies, that money hit different when you know that your husband has provided for you even in death. So emotionally, that has to be a blow for Lauren, knowing that she can't get the title of widow. She doesn't get access to any of the fortune that Nipsey built. And if we're honest, that would hurt any woman's ego, okay? And there are benefits. Moving on, there are benefits for men in marriage as well. They get sex, they get intimacy, they get nurturing, they get support, they get feminine inspiration. Men who are married usually are inspired to build. They make more money because they are driven by purpose. When they get older, they have a life partner. They can travel the globe together. And usually men die before women. So having a wife and kids, possibly grandkids by your side when you're dying, is a huge benefit in marriage. My sister is a nurse. I cannot tell you the amount of stories that she has shared with me of men crying in the middle of the night in the hospital because they have no one by their side. Nothing is worse than when you're sick or dying in a hospital and you have no one by your side. No children, no wife, no family because you never invested in one. That is the problem with a lot of men. They think they're invincible. And because of immaturity and their egos, men don't think they'll ever age. And don't even get me started with men who don't take care of their kids. Because I personally feel that men who don't take care of their kids have bad luck. They have bad juju. And a lot of black men don't realize that they suffer when they run away from their responsibility to take care of their children. They really end up paying for it in the end. So those MGTOW, I'm a bachelor for life. Men get better when they get older, which is not necessarily true. Those self-focused types of men, they usually pay for not investing in a family on the back end of their lives. As for women, unfortunately, a lot of women allow men, especially dusty men, to string them along. A lot of women allow men to run game on them, use them up. They give men the best years of their lives, and then they have nothing to financially show for it. And 10 times out of 10, a woman will be bitter, angry, and resentful once she looks back and realizes that she gave the best of herself away for nothing. So, ladies, it's not cute when a man calls you wifey. If he's calling you wifey, but you get none of the benefits of being a wife, in the spirit of Remy Ma, are you dumb? He gets your loyalty, your caregiving, your nurturing, your emotional support through life's ups and downs. And what do you get? So for women who say marriage don't matter because it don't stop a man from cheating or leaving, or it doesn't make a man loyal to you because all men cheat, all men leave, whether they have money or not. And there's no argument there. It's true. Men cheat at all levels. Men lie with a straight face. Men will cheat with women, trans women. They will cheat with other men. They will leave you for the receptionist, and they will leave you for a woman half your age. But would you rather get cheated on by a broke dusty who will break your heart and maybe offer you an apology and some makeup sex while you still have to get up and go to work? Or would you rather get cheated on by a man who has financially set you up to be good for the rest of your life? Or a man who has financially invested in you and your kids? Or a man who can give you the Kobe special, right? The Kobe special is the diamond rings, right? The shopping in Beverly Hills, a head to toe spa day, right? Trips to Tiffany's. Or if you were to divorce, because half of all marriages end in divorce, and most divorces happen because of a lack of resources, right? A lack of money. But if you're married to a provider man, he'd have to pay you. It's called alimony, child support, money to move on, money to start over. But when you start over after leaving a dusty, you have nothing but lint in your pockets. So that's all I have to say on this for now. Say no to struggle love, because marriage is absolutely more than just a piece of paper. And for those of you who say marriage doesn't matter, ask a single woman or a single mom who's never been married that. Because struggling in your 50s, 60s, and 70s on your own because you didn't marry a provider is no joke. And quite frankly, those are shoes that you don't want to walk in. As hypergamous women, it is your duty to get the better end of the deal. So stay tuned for more videos to come, and I will catch up with you in the next one.